Hi guys, welcome to Lifeguide. I'm Alice.
I'm Rachel, and on this episode of the Sunday Show, we're talking about COVID-19 around the world. We've invited some very special guests from different countries to share their experiences with COVID-19 and how it's like dealing with lockdowns and quarantine measures.
Okay, just a disclaimer, any opinion are of personal understanding and feeling and does not represent Lifeguide. And also today we have included some guests from overseas, but unfortunately due to the time difference, it's pre-recorded and not live. Yeah, so Rachel, for the questions.
Okay, and so for today, right, we'll be asking some guests from Singapore, Malaysia, Canada, a lot of countries, and today we have a very special sponsor as well, Mr. Lim Zhiwen, which Alice will introduce.
Oh, okay. So Zhiwen is also Vivid Snaps the boss, and he's also the sponsor for the live stream today. So can we welcome Zhiwen? Yay!
Hello,
Hi,
hello, hello,
Zhiwen.
hello. Yeah, thank you guys for doing this. And then, hi everyone. So we are Very Snaps, and then we are a company in Singapore, and we do video production. We do live stream like this. Reason why we wanted to do this is also to explore different kind of platforms where we can do live stream, and also just to have fun. And this for viewers out there, today is a very good opportunity for you to really ask questions from people around the world and see how are they dealing with the COVID situation, and then what's happening in their country. Yeah, so even though you see a lot in the news about different countries, but I think it's always fun to really hear from the people on the ground and firsthand.
Nice. Okay, so any questions that you guys have, you guys can leave it to the end, and then we'll answer it after every segment as well from all the guests.
Yeah, feel free to drop them in the YouTube comments or in the in the Facebook live chat, and we'll try to answer them at the end of every segment. Now, do take note that some guests are pre-recorded, so if you have certain specific questions related to that country, we might not be able to answer them, but we hope you enjoy the show anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Okay. So let's welcome Tika from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Hello.
Woo!
Hi, my name is
Hi,
Tika.
Tika.
Hi.
Hello, Tika.
I'm a graphic facilitator. So I live in Malaysia. And what I do is I do live drawing in very big format at workshop, conferences, or training. So people hire me to listen to their conversation, discussion, or speeches. And simultaneously, I will synthesize their verbal contents into a big visual keynote. So that it helped them to structure their ideas and make the connection of the contents and make it into a shareable version in the digital format. So today I will be doing a live drawing of this session in a smaller format on iPad, and to show you how does it work. So hope you enjoy it. We will share the
Yep.
image at the end of the session.
Okay, we will check in with Tika from time to time to look at your progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so and we'll do a self-introduction of the guests joining us from their pre-recorded videos as well. First, we have Jonathan from Australia and Caroline from Canada.
Jonathan, 34 this year, and born in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, but I've been a citizen in Australia, Melbourne, for 15 years now. So full residency here in Australia.
Hi there, my name is Caroline. I'm 27 years old and originally I'm from Germany, but I'm living in Banff in Alberta in Canada. I've just recently moved here in 2020, so it's all still pretty new for me. My occupation is I'm a scientific researcher, so I work from home anyways.
Okay, so those are our guesses from overseas. So shall we start with the questions? Rachel?
Sure, let's start with Tika first, since you have to focus on your drawing, so we'll get those out of the way. So,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you do live drawing, so I would assume your work maybe has to do, you have to be on the ground most of the time. So how has the COVID-19 situation affected your job in any way?
Yeah, basically I have no job now. So not only that I have to be on site, the situation where I work involves a big group of people. So usually a conference, a design thinking workshop. So most of the group work cancel. So I'm lucky enough, just before the pandemic, the lockdown in March, I managed to do one big session. And I think that will be it. And now I'm doing a lot of, I start to go on webinar Lifeguide on iPad, but it's not the same because what we do is a lot on the group energy, to feel the group energy on spot. So doing live is just a compensation for me. So it's pretty hard for me now. I hope it pick up soon.
Okay, speaking of your iPad, can you like show us your iPad now, like the
Sure.
one that you're drawing on?
So this is the blank canvas I'm gonna draw on later.
Oh.
So you'll see how it is later. I will show you a time lapse video as well.
Okay, that's nice. I want an iPad too.
Lucky draw,
Okay.
get it from
Your
Lucky
one is
Draw.
only the iPad, yeah.
iPad.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay,
then in
moving
that
on.
sense, has the government given you any support policies for those who have lost their jobs or who have suffered a pay cut during this period?
Yeah, there are some financial aids for people who is B14 in a lower range of the income. But I guess I'm not in that range, so I don't get anything. And there's also some help for company, but I'm one woman show company. I also doesn't fall into the category. But yeah, there are some financial help for people who is in need.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. That's nice. At least they're helping out. Okay, shall we move on to Zhiwen?
Yep.
Okay, so Zhiwen. Yeah, sorry.
So as we all know, because we are in the same company, COVID-19 has affected us a lot because we are always going out for event, be it photo booth, video production, event photographies, all events. So when COVID hits, we just like Tekka, we virtually have no jobs coming in, and therefore we have to really quickly pivot our business to be doing something else. We did some internal works, and then we followed by live streaming, and then we are really seeing an influx of live streaming projects that's coming in. I think the good news is that businesses are also starting to wake up and adapting to the COVID-19 situation. So they also know that they can't just go on hibernation forever. So we do see some jobs coming in, for different type of different from live events, but be it video editing or repurposing of content, or very limited kind of filming. We also actually do remote filming for our clients as well. I think that's a first. All these years in the industry, that's a first that we're actually doing remote filming. Overall, I think our government is very, very helpful. We are really getting a lot of support from our government, be it individual or at a company level. But of course, these subsidies actually help. But at the end of the day, we still really need to rely on ourselves to really turn a profit in the business, lah. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm still very, very thankful for for our government in Singapore. I think everybody at every income segment is getting some sort of help in Singapore.
Okay, so let's move on to like apart from the business, right? Your daily life. So how do you think COVID-19 has affected your daily life?
Would you like Tika to go first on this?
Yeah, daily life. Yeah, I actually enjoy a lot. Yes, so yeah, because my job is very punctual, and when I have a big event, I usually do 2 events per month. Like every event is like a few days, so most of the time I'm still at home even before the lockdown. So now I feel much more. How should I say? I have no excuse to stay home, and I really enjoy staying home. And I do a lot of self work, like I meditate and all, and so I really enjoy the lockdown actually.
That's nice.
Despite the business is low, but I'm not so worried about that actually. Yeah, so I like it.
How about Zhiwen?
Yep. So I think slightly different from Tika is that we are running as a company. So as much as I wish I could just hibernate in this period, we unfortunately have to find ways to work so that we can continue helping everyone to survive in this period. It is very difficult, but I think this is a good time for us to really read the books that we have been wanting to read. I think Blinkist. I have been using the Blinkist app. They offered me a very generous 1 month free trial, and then you could really kind of read a lot of books in a shorter time frame. So that's something that I think will be very useful in the long run.
Oh.
Gaining knowledge and so on. Yep.
Okay, so that's a
Uh,
tip for everybody out there who want to
yep.
read.
So true. And for our international
Mm.
viewers who might not be familiar with the situation in Singapore, can you explain a little bit about our very uniquely termed circuit breaker measures implemented by the government?
All right. So, the situation is pretty serious in Singapore, at least in the dormitory. So, for viewers, for our international viewers, you may see that the Singapore infection rate is very very high, but they are generally concentrated in the workers' dormitory, where the workers are generally situated in close quarter, and then therefore the spread became a bit more intense. But whereas for the spread, in terms of community spread, is really very, very minimal. We are in the 2 digits. I think we are in just double digits. So I don't think we are in, for most people in Singapore, I don't think we are in any great danger. You can still, we are asked to stay home. We can still go out to buy food and grocery, but other than that, we shouldn't be going out. And I'm just looking forward to have this lifted lah. I mean, for us who always work in a team, we deal with physical equipment. It's just really difficult to work remotely. Yep.
Yes, I remember because I'm Malaysian, but I stay in Singapore. And my first reaction when I learned about COVID, I was quite fearful of it because Malaysia had 0 cases and Singapore had already double digits. And I was thinking, Malaysia's so huge and Singapore's so tiny. So I was in Malaysia for Chinese New Year. I was like, I don't want to go back because my chances of getting infected in Singapore are so much higher than Malaysia. So
Yep.
that was a very interesting experience. And we managed to sort of keep it manageable for a while until it blew up in the dormitories, as you mentioned. So during the circuit breaker, basically to explain to international viewers, is that we are under, I think we can call it partial lockdown, where we have to stay home. Anytime we go out, we have to wear a mask. And we are not allowed to dine out, but we are allowed to go out for exercise, which I think is quite common for a lot of countries as well. No country that I know of has done a complete full lockdown other than China, I would think, where you're not allowed to leave at all. Okay, so that's a little bit of context. So I'm wondering, do any of you have any personal survivor stories or experiences to share where a friend maybe has come into a very close contact with a victim or someone of that sort? So let's start with Tika.
Oh yeah, I mentioned about my last event before the lockdown in March. That was the beginning of everything. I worked on an event that was aimed to have 100 to 200 participants. So then the COVID started and the event decided to go on because they are an insurance company. They know how to assure everything. So we cut down the number to less than 180 people. So those who have to travel, it's an event of international participants. Those who have to travel from anywhere that have a stopover or from China, Singapore or Hong Kong are all banned. So we still go on with the workshop and we have all the policy and preparation set to in case if that is the case. So we are in a hotel. It's a 1 week event in the hotel, and at the second day we learned that there is a co-worker from a company actually was infected probably, and he is undergo a test. So as we are the event organizer and we have to keep the news before we confirm everything, so we have to go through all the possibility if this person is really infected. So there is possibility the participants also get infected. So how will all this gonna run? And the answer is that we will be locked down in the hotel for 2 weeks. Yeah, which is nice because it's a nice hotel. But
Nice
when we
hotel.
get locked down in the hotel have also been informed they're ready to do that. But that is not means that you can still go out to use the pool or go to the restaurant. No, everyone will be locked down in their room. So with a control of it. So we were mentally prepared that maybe we won't be going back to our home. And many people come from overseas. They probably will spend 2 weeks in Malaysia being locked down in a hotel room for 2 weeks. So we were quite tense, but the event had to go on. We pretend that, of course, in front of the participants, we don't show anything. And at last, the news came out, and it was bird flu and not a coronavirus.
I see.
So
what a relief.
yes, but it was a nice experience to know what
Mhm.
how it's really go
How
when
it feels
the
like, and
situation go.
Must have been intense.
It's
Yeah.
quite
And for us, I think we came quite close when we actually have one event that was cancelled just one day before the event was happening, because one of their guests, I think it was a family member that got diagnosed with was tested positive for COVID-19. I think that was the closest we have came. And then of course one of our colleagues have family members who came in contact with somebody who was who had a family member tested positive. So there was a lot of uncertainty at the point of time lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was very scary.
From Tika and Zhiwen. Okay, let's move on to our pre-recorded guests. We've not neglected them. Let's start with Australia first, and we want to hear what are his policies in Australia that have been put in place by the government. So now, yeah.
So in Australia, what happens is there were two different policies that were put in place. One by the federal government and one by the state government. There were two different policies going at the same time. So, for instance, the lockdown was first enacted by the Victorian government. So, where I'm at, we are being governed by the Victorian government. They were the first ones to actually lock us down, whereas the federal government was not immediate in their lockdown. So, not all states had different policies. In that regard, I would say there were two distinct policies in place, such as no gatherings of 10 or more at the first outbreak in early March. And then they slowly reduced it, no gatherings of 5 or more. And then at the highest level 4 restriction, they said no gatherings of 2 or more, which happened pretty much in the middle of the outbreak, middle of March. So the government started to be more in line with the state government in terms of their policies at the very later stage of the pandemic. So ours were more of a lockdown than a shutdown, because I know in Singapore and in Malaysia, which I follow quite closely, I know it's more of a shutdown. More of a lockdown. Let me rephrase it. You guys had more of a lockdown than a shutdown. So people were not even allowed to go out for walks, jogs, or anything like that. Whereas in Australia, I think we were a bit more laid back. It was more shops that were closed. People just can't go out in groups, but you can still go out to jog. You can still go out to walk. You can still do your groceries. You don't need to get a permit. I know in France, you need to get a permit when you go out. You can still travel. So that were just some of the more policies. So it's more of a shutdown of businesses, restaurants, workplace. Public transport was still going. That was pretty much the initial measures that were put in place.
I see.
And very interestingly, because he mentioned he's a Malaysian, but he stays in Australia. So I'm very curious to know whether he has experienced any sort of racism there, because we've heard a bit of those going around in predominantly Western countries.
Oh yeah, there were like a lot of news.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an increase of racism and xenophobic attack towards the Asian community. I've been reading a lot of it. Personally, whether I feel it or not, I think that's yet to be experienced, because I still don't go out as much, but we are getting increased reports of attacks on the Asian community. all across Australia, to be honest with you, not just in Melbourne or Sydney, just everywhere in Australia. So there is definitely that increase in racism towards the Asian minority of this COVID-19 outbreak.
Interesting. And not to neglect our friend from Canada as well, Caroline, we would like to ask her, a lot of people have been Skyping more often with, especially I think in Asian countries where we stay with our family, we aren't that affected in terms of like familial relationships. But I want to know, those who are staying in European countries, who stay far from their family, how has the relationship changed due to this COVID-19 outbreak?
I talk to all of my friends and family online now, obviously, which was really weird in the beginning, but I've gotten used to it because I'm also used to not being like geographically close to my friends all the time. With some of them, I would even say that it has kind of intensified our relationship, because when you're in a video call, you just focus on your conversation, you can't drift off, you're not distracted. But still, I can't wait to give everybody a hug again.
That's nice. Okay.
I want a hug too.
Hey, no physical contact for now.
Okay. Social distancing. High five.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, just over the
this
web.
is like a high five. Yeah.
High
over the web.
five.
High five.
Just over the web.
okay. I'm very curious also to know everybody's first reaction to COVID-19. Were you not like do you ever think that it would spread to this scale, and do you ever think that it will be contained within Asia only, that it wouldn't become a pandemic? Maybe this one we can shoot to Alice also first.
Oh, okay, when I first heard it, honestly, I was pretty scared because I have family in China and they are pretty close to Wuhan, so I'm quite afraid that they will be affected as well. And I always keep in touch with them and ask like my mom's side's grandma if she was alright. Then she say because she lives in a smaller village, so she say it's not as affected as the bigger cities, but they can definitely feel the tension, especially like in the villages. They don't have like that strong of a medical care for them. Yeah, like the nearest hospital is like I think an hour away. And if it were to be something serious, like by the time you get there, it might be too serious already. Yeah. And that's why I was pretty scared. And I mean, back in Singapore, for Singapore itself, I wasn't that terrified until I started getting news that like there are positive cases like near my area because I live in Ang Mo Kio, and like there's a mosque here, and then they had like 3 positive cases, and which is a place I pass by every single day to get to work. So it was a bit scary for me. Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you guys?
I think personally for me, it's like when we were the second highest country after China, that was very, very scary. But then I think the government handled it really well, and we managed to flatten the curve a little bit. And I personally, I think I was naive, and I felt a bit complacent, like, oh, I think we've kind of dealt with it well. It won't really come back, especially when a lot of nations were praising Singapore's efforts. But then the dormitories happened. And I don't mean to say that with a smile, but yeah, it just shows. It just goes to show that you really can't be too comfortable
Complacent.
with this kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, you really have to put in your part and listen to what the professionals have to say. So I think with that, we can do our very first check-in with Tika's drawing.
Oh, sure. Let me make a. So share screen. Take time.
No worries, take your time.
Yeah.
I wonder if we have any live comments now, any questions targeted to Malaysia and Singapore as well. Maybe we'll have
Okay.
our dear producer moderate
Yep.
those two.
While we're waiting, maybe I could just share. I think I was just a few days ago
Did
I
you see
went
the
to Ang Mo
screen?
Kio at sorry. Yep. Are you able to see? Yeah, just a few days ago I was at Chiang Shan and then I think that was pretty near to Ellie's place.
Oh,
And then
yes.
one thing I realized is that there were a lot of people sitting around at Void Decks at Chengshan.
Oh,
Just Chengshan. I mean, okay,
It's
in my neighborhood, I really have literally nobody. Except last night when I saw at the dark corner at the staircase, somebody stood there. I mean, sat there just to chill out. But other than that, I think it was pretty clean. But Chengshan, you know, there were just people at every corner.
call them
disclaimer, it's
out
not
right
me.
now. We're calling you out, Ching Chan.
It's not me. It's not me. Disclaimer, it's not me. I wouldn't know. I only go out for like necessities, like groceries. I wouldn't know cause I don't. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can now
Check on Tika's
check on
progress.
Tika's drawing. Yep.
We got a glimpse of it. It's so cute. Okay,
Oh,
I
it's
don't
very
know if cute is appropriate to use. But
Oh
I
my
love
god,
her handwriting
Okay.
too.
nice.
it's nice. Oh,
Thank
wow.
you. So let's move
And
on.
thanks for
Okay.
the color that's paying tribute to the Lifeguide branding.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
the-
like the logo color. It's nice.
the
Thank
iconic
you.
blue and yellow.
Okay, let's move
Okay.
on to more light-hearted questions.
Okay.
Alice, you go.
Okay. I'm not sure if this will exactly apply to Singapore. Actually, but okay, I can just ask: has any wildlife returned to your country during this period? I saw Singapore had some stories. So Zhiwen, you wanna share?
Ants and cockroaches. I mean, I'm seeing a little bit more ants at my home. So do you consider that wildlife? Oh, but other than that, not really. I think I saw a really nice bird on a tree at again Chengshan the other day. So that was the only thing I saw, and other than that, I really don't see anything. But yes, I saw the meme that says you know, this pandemic is good for the earth because now we are consuming so much less energy during this time. Yeah. What
Oh,
about
yes.
yeah, Tika in Malaysia? Do you see any wildlife returning that you
I
haven't
don't go out,
noticed?
so I don't really think I will see any wildlife. But I live by a park where there are a lot of monkeys even before the
Mhm.
lockdown, and the park is still closed. But I'm sure if I go back to the park, I will have to be extra careful. The monkeys and the wild dogs, they will go wild, and even the wild dogs have already came on the street. So I happened to go out last week, and the wild dogs in a group, they was walking on the street. So I'm sure they are coming out. Yeah, which is good news.
I think Singapore there was like a funny story of a horse that escaped and then it went on the road. And then since in Singapore the road we call it Malu and the horse is a
Ah.
so it was it became a
It was
joke.
rightful. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
feel like
so
that was a publicity stunt. It's too perfect. Like, we don't really have wild horses in Singapore, and that horse went to a petrol station, and someone made a joke about horsepower. So today I'm scratching my head like, somebody give that person a raise if that person was in charge of the marketing for that, but we'll never know.
It was
okay,
a
so
nice scene though.
shall
It was a nice scene. Mhm. Sorry. Yep.
oh yeah, it's okay. Shall we move on to like the pre-recorded guest one? How about the one from Canada? Caroline?
Canada should be interesting.
Yeah, the wildlife was massively roaming the streets of Banff, where I live. Obviously, this is kind of normal here because I live in the middle of a national park. So there's heaps of deers and elks just walking down the street in the middle of town. I even woke up the other day, opened my blinds, and there was a deer just right in front of my window.
Wow.
Also, there have been a few sightings of bears recently, which is obviously a little bit worrying. But then again, this is not very unusual here. It might be a little bit more because it's less busy, but they do have a lot of animals here.
Okay. Wow, that's nice. I would like to see a deer out of my window.
Right? But not a bear.
But I live at 11th floor, so like if I see it, there's something wrong. Okay, how about Jonathan from Australia?
I think we didn't manage to ask Jonathan whether
Oh.
there's wildlife roaming around.
But yeah, Australia would have been really interesting because you know Australia is known to have a lot of like wildlife and all this.
I don't think we need to ask. I think my cousin, Jonathan's my cousin, he would just say, I see no difference. It's the same whether there's a pandemic or not.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Do you guys have any like favorite movies or books that you like found during this period of time? Like you got into it. How about Tika, wanna answer first?
Uh, yeah, I recently watched The Platform, a Spanish movie from Netflix. Have you all heard? The
Not
Platform.
yet.
The story is quite interesting. It's about the 300 level of prison, and in yeah, and in the middle of the prison there is a hole, and the platform serves the food from the first floor until the end. So the food plateau just go down, and so the whole story is just about to explain how the food will never reach after the 50th floor. Everybody will just grabbing everything and left nothing at the end. So imagine when you are at the lower floor, what happens. So and then every month the prisoner will be switched from top floor to lower floor. So what is interesting about the story is that it talk about the hierarchy of the society, how the rich have everything and then the poor have nothing, and how the poor will have to how to get the rich to equally share the resources so that we all get an equal deal. And then after watching this, it's very sad. I realized that there is no solution. It's very sad. So I'm happy I've watched that.
Wow, very interesting. Is it a movie or is it a series?
It's a movie.
Oh,
It's from Spain.
very interesting. It kind of reminds me of Parasite about the inequality from rich to poor as well. If you've watched that, it's also another good one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Chuan, any recommendations?
All right, I haven't watched any movie this period, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and I think on YouTube there are a lot of self-improvement videos that you can watch, and at the same time also watching religious videos about what's their take on this this virus, and that's about it. And if you're talking about books, I think I've been trying to finish the book on Lee Kuan Yew, and then I've also trying to finish the book on seven highly effective seven habits of highly effective people. So I think that book has a lot of good points to learn from, and I probably would want to read it again and again to really absorb everything. So I would really recommend that book for anyone who's who's looking for a book to read.
Okay. How about Rachel?
Me, okay.
Yes.
What weather we have today? Okay, to be frank, I don't read a lot. But I've been indulging in a bit of retail therapy. Shopee had a discount for a Kindle the other day, so I bought myself that. So let's hope my reading habits will improve. My dad
Yeah, this
occasionally slides motivational books on my desk from time to time. So, but I am a bit lazy, so I would rather use my phone and watch YouTube videos also. On YouTube,
Yep.
I watch mostly entertainment videos because, to be frank, like when you're working from home and your desktop is just right there, it's hard to separate like work and life. So every time if I'm having me time, I just find my mind to relax, like just making excuses for myself. But Alice, what about you?
Well, at the same time, I also don't exactly read a lot because I don't really have access to like that much books. But then there are ebooks now, so honestly, there's no excuse. But I exercise more. Like for me, my productivity is I exercise a lot at night. Like I go out for walks and all this. Is a way for me to take like a breather when it gets too stuffy at home. Like the cabin fever that a lot of people have. But yeah, Zhiwen is the epitome
Yes,
of productivity.
It is.
I'm really doing my best. I mean, we have a business to save.
I think me and Rachel is the epitome of unproductive.
We're advocates of work-life balance. Let's just put it that way.
And also
I just
retail
want to
therapy.
say I just want to say that our team has been pretty productive throughout the circuit breaker period. So I'm very thankful, and then good job to you guys as well. So you guys managed to balance it much better.
Yes.
For
Yep.
those reading
Yeah.
Shopee item descriptions.
That is my
Wow.
ideal reading material. I do that
It's
a
a
lot.
good time to do shopping because a lot of people are actually having sale. I mean, a lot of companies are actually having sale. So it's okay. I mean, buy now and then stop later.
Buy now, pay later.
Yeah, buy
Uh,
now, pay later. Or but anyway, when things are cheap, it's a good time to shop. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
Okay.
wanted to point out that in Singapore, our National Library Board actually has a account where we can actually get we can rent books digitally, so we don't have to go to the library, through the app Overdrive, and also we get magazines through the app of Press. I mean the app that's a Press Reader. So really good for really good initiative from our library.
Just a pro tip for people with passion card, you can actually borrow up to 24 books, if I'm not wrong, or 16.
A public
But-
library?
Yeah,
Yes.
public library. Those with passion card, you can get more books. So a pro tip. Okay. Shall we move on to the next question?
Or how about we hear what our friends in Canada and Australia have to recommend?
Okay.
Maybe the TV shows are more unique than ours.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh,
Alright.
that's easy. So I have this book in front of me. I'll show it to you. It's called Intelligent Investor. I just got it just before the quarantine actually started. Got it for my birthday. I finished that one. That was pretty good. I've finished Sapien the second time because I really loved that book. I think that the notions of the human evolution was great. So Sapien was another one that I reread. Not front to back, but just bits and pieces. I enjoyed that a fair bit. Movies. Interesting. I think I've been binging on Netflix quite a fair bit. I try my best not to stay in front of the telly and watch too much of it, but I think there was not many big movies that was released. I did finish watching Ozark, which was interesting. I finished watching Money Heist, which was good as well. But other than that, I'm not much of a telly person, a series person. I like to watch it when I'm cleaning the house and just run it at the back, or when I'm just doing stretches. So I would say not really a big telly fan, but yeah, Ozark series pretty good, and Money Heist. That's the two that jumps out of me anyway at the moment.
Okay, what about Canada?
I can absolutely
Oh.
recommend Unorthodox, which is a series on Netflix. Unfortunately, it only has 4 episodes, but I can highly recommend it. It's super successful all around the world. It's very, very interesting. Definitely give it a go.
So I hear a lot of Netflix.
Yes.
I love
At least
Netflix.
you have a Netflix subscription, because I don't.
I have.
No.
I got it for free from a friend, so
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Actually, you
I
can get the 1 month free trial, right? This is the best time to do it.
I actually had a friend who created multiple emails just to get the free trial, and I think Netflix caught on and banned his IP address, so now he will never get Netflix again.
okay. Kids, do not do that. Yeah,
Do not
please don't do
do
that. Yeah, but I feel that if once you get the 1 month subscription, you will want to pay for like the rest of it. It's worth if you can find a few people to pay
Correct,
for it
correct,
with
to share.
you. Yeah.
I just want to mention that I think if you are a university student, you could actually get Apple Music at $4.95 per month with first 3 months free.
Oh,
And then that comes with Apple TV Plus. So if you have a friend who's in a university, you could verify his email and get this promo.
I wish I was a university student.
Maybe you could try. I mean, maybe you could try your school ID. It could work.
Oh, but unfortunately, I'm not even like an Apple user. So
I'm an Apple user, and I don't know what on earth is on Apple TV. Like nobody really says like, "Oh, I watch Apple TV."
yeah, it's
it's always
either
Netflix.
or like Disney Plus.
Anime, let's go. Shine Lee says.
I have started like going back to watching anime, and it hurts me every time because it's always so sad. Do any of you watch anime? Is it just me?
was
I
it?
watch
Does Pokemon
selectively.
count?
Selectively, yes. I mean, I watch Agretsuko on Netflix. I think that's
Oh.
pretty nice.
Yeah, Agretsuko is me. Like
Yeah,
when
rage.
when there's a lot of work, and then I will just start raging.
Well,
What
I
about-
think we're coming to the end of this segment. Before we go, shall we take another look at Tika's drawing?
Sure.
Yes.
Then,
Okay, we'll give her some time to set up the screen share. In the meantime,
I'm
Sheila,
good.
before you go, do you want to give some words of encouragement to our viewers?
Can you
Okay,
see?
yep. Sorry, the live.
Okay.
Yep. I just want to say if you have any questions for our presenters today, just remember to put them in YouTube and Facebook.
Can you see the screen share?
Yep,
Yep.
we're seeing it very
Okay.
clearly, very cute.
Oh my god, the deer! So cute!
Oh my god. It's like something out of a movie. Like open the window and there's a deer right there. So
I
cute.
love it. The virus looks so evil, but out of its
The-
mouth comes the deer.
The deer is so cute. Okay.
Okay,
Shall we listen to like the encouraging words from Australia?
sure.
Let's hear it from them.
Just be hygienic, social distance, don't be lackadaisical. I as with all the disasters that we have been through, we'll get through this one as well. And I personally, I've been starting a diary, writing all this down so that I can remember exactly what it feels like to be in a world of a lockdown. Like I can never imagine something like this ever happening in my lifetime where you'll be told to just stay in your house, you can't travel, all the restaurants are closed. I can literally go out on my street right now and just sleep on the floor, and I don't have to worry about cars running me over because nobody's driving. So it's a very interesting timeline that we live in especially in the modern era. So I just go like relish it, I suppose. So just remember what we've been through, so that you can pass it on as a legacy to your kids, or the future generation, telling them stories of, hey, you remember back then when we used to shake hands. People are now using their elbows and whatnot. So I think just create memories out of this, good or bad. Things will improve. I know a lot of people out there have lost their job. That's unfortunate timing. But as with rainbows, there's always the end of the rainbow, and there will always be light at the end of the tunnel. Things will improve from here on out.
Shall we move on to Canada?
Yeah, I send a lot of strength and love to everybody. We're all in this together. When you're feeling down, try to express your emotions somehow. And there was a beginning to Corona, and one day there will be an end again. See ya.
Oh, short and very sweet.
Yeah.
All right,
I-
and I
I-
guess that's the end of our first segment. Oh, we have one question coming in from Shine. It's directed to Tika. Can I ask how is it like in Malaysia's supermarkets? In Singapore, all the chips are gone.
Supermarket is that I don't know in Singapore, are you asked to wear a glove before you go in?
No,
Yeah, so we have to wear a glove in certain market before we go in. So when you have a glove, it's very difficult for you to manipulate the plastic bag and to take the thing. So it's quite complicated. So and that there were long queue. Now I think it's better. There were long queue also. They only allowed a certain amount of people enter and go out. So and I think toilet paper usually short. Chips, I'm not sure. I don't buy chips. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really nice to see how Malaysia is taking it to another level with gloves. I didn't think of that because it's not happening in Singapore. But
Oh
good to
yeah.
know that things to touch in supermarket are pretty clean because people are with their gloves. Yep.
Yeah.
But sorry, I just wanted to mention on the point. I think I agree with Jonathan that this is a very special time, and then you'll always be in our memory. It's very good that as Singaporeans of our generation, we go through this, and then we know what a hardship is, what a difficult time is, because our generation has been very fortunate to be born in a time where, you know, we see a lot of economic success. We are reaping the fruits of our parents, our ancestors' labor. So good that we go through some hardship ourselves, and I think we, you know, we're better off as human beings after this time.
For those
But-
mentions, in Singapore, we have to scan our identification cards before we enter supermarkets. Yes.
Yes.
And also when we leave, when we enter and when we leave.
Yep.
Yeah, there was once.
A lot with contact tracing.
Oh yeah, there was once I entered like a mall through a different place, so I actually scanned my IC like 4 times. Yeah, 4 times.
We just loosened the policy last week that we are allowed to go and dine in a restaurant. It used to be all the restaurants are closed. Only last week it started to open. But we have to give the every store before we go in and sit down. We have to give them our name, our contact number, our IC number, so that we can be traced.
Mm.
Wow.
So before we eat, we have to give all the detail.
Wow.
Steven Wong asked, any personal story to share? Personal story. In what sense though? Let me think. Like anybody can go for this if you guys already thought of a story. I can't think
I
of
just
any.
want to say that during this difficult time, it's really the strong people who will stand out. And then, you know, in my own, you know, in our work and all, I really see some of you really standing up, you know, and really showing yourself in this period. So that's excellent. I always believe that you know, a time like this is like a reset, and people who are strong, who has a strong mindset, is actually has an advantage over you know, the other people who choose to be, you know, if some other people out there choose to be complacent. This is a time that we actually rise up and shine, and you know, take the lead. So really good in every, I think in every even in difficult times like that, there are you know, opportunity and good things that we can just focus on the positive side of things, and then a lot of things will turn out well. Yeah, it's still difficult at this point of time, but it'll be good. Yep.
How about Tika? Do you have any personal story to share?
No, I'm concentrating drawing. I didn't hear your
Oh,
question. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You
No
can
worries.
concentrate on.
Okay, so that will conclude our first segment. Let's
Mm.
invite our next 3 guests. Thank you so much, Zhiwen, for
Thank you,
joining us.
Alice,
Yeah.
Rachel, and Tika. I appreciate the
Thank
session.
you,
Thank you so
Zhiwen.
much.
Have a
Thanks,
great
you.
Juwan, for
Monday.
joining. Everybody
Thank
can say
you.
bye to Juwan now. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, Alice, that was very interesting. I did not know about the glove situation in Malaysia.
Yeah, I wonder if Singapore will actually implement it
Oh,
like,
please,
in the future.
no. I really can't breathe. I don't need my palms to be sweating even more. It's very
Sweaty palms.
No. At least I don't have to shake anyone's hand during this period.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so that was very insightful. We would like to thank Jonathan and Caroline for joining us as well remotely, but we still hope we learned some very insightful perspectives from them. And now we'll invite our 3 live guests. We have Thomas from USA, we have Valentine from Sweden, and we have
Benjamin from Malaysia.
Benjamin from Malaysia.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so can we go like one round, starting with Thomas first? We'll just do a quick self-introduction. Give us your name, your age, which country you're from, which part do you stay in, and also your occupation.
Hello, my name is Thomas. I am from the good old United States of America. I'm currently just a full-time student. I think that's about it.
Oh, full-time student. That's nice.
And next, Valentine.
Hi. My name is Valentine. I live in Sweden, but I'm from New Zealand originally. Rachel and Ben, they're my cousins. I'm 25 years old. I'm a carpenter. And yep, that's about it for me.
Okay. How about Benjamin?
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm 18. I'm from Malaysia, and I'm currently a student studying graphic design and advertising.
Hi, my junior. What's up?
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
Alice is our full-time designer in our company as well. All the graphics you see today on the show are designed by hers.
Cool.
So
I hope you guys enjoy it.
you critique if you want.
Okay, as for the pre-recorded guest, we have Natalie from Germany. Can we cue the video?
I'm Natalie from Germany. I'm 33 years old and I work with SAP, Europe's largest software company, as a senior strategic consultant.
Okay, how about Yelia from UK?
Hi, I'm Yelia. I'm 26. I'm living in London, working at a media agency, advertising.
Oh, that's nice. We have quite a range of people and jobs. Okay.
I just
Let's
realized
move on.
also that we are somehow all in the media industry. Very
Oh.
interesting. We did not plan this.
Except for Valentine, he's a carpenter. Valentine, do you want to join us?
Yeah. I'll join, guys. Don't worry.
Build sets for us.
Give me a computer. I'll be there.
Okay, so let's start off with our first question. Okay, what are some of the policies and measures that your government has implemented to deal with the spread of the coronavirus? Shall we start with Thomas?
All right. So this is how it goes down. I don't know if you guys heard about the US's plan. So at first we closed down the border or travel from in and out of China, like in I think January. That didn't help because I mean all the other airports were open, so COVID got into here. After that, we implemented the 6 feet rule where you're supposed to social distance. No one follows that still. So now after that, we're trying to reduce the group sizes. So all our major sporting events, I know one for sure is UFC 249 is closed. Yeah. So no one follows that. Now we're forcing everybody to wear masks. And people are still refusing to do that. At least. Yeah. This is pretty much our policies at the moment. Wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, stay in small numbers. Not as drastic as only two people like Australia, but 6 people? Yeah. And I know for a fact right now, no one's following that because I hear music from a party from across the street. So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Maybe you should take a tip from Singapore because we're a very fine city. Any non-compliance, you'll be a little short
Fine.
of cash. Yes.
Yes. We are real fine city.
Okay, next, Benjamin. We know about the MCO, the Movement Control Order, but can you give us more details?
I think Malaysia is like really strict. But then recently they've implemented this conditional MCO, so we get to go out and stuff. But previously, like you can only have one person go out at a time. So like if you're in the car, you can't be with a passenger, and also you need to wear a mask at all times. If you get caught without a mask, you can go to jail. So yeah, it was really strict, but things are better now. Yeah.
Interesting.
How about Valentine?
Well, in Sweden, it's quite relaxed, to be honest. My opinion is quite different to what the Swedes are thinking, but I feel like the Swedes' policy is quite too relaxed. But their policies from the start was first it was no groups bigger than 100, and now it's no groups bigger than 50. But I'm still going to work. Everyone's still going to work. The only thing that's really shut down is there's no more sports. There's no more university and high school, but the primary school is still open. So the Ministry of Health, they say that children have a risk to get it, but a bigger chance of surviving and passing it and not passing it on. So that's the reason behind leaving the schools open, and they think that the kids have more benefit to stay open and stay in the school socially and just for their mental health. But other than that, it's more self governance of what you want to do. So they say, please don't travel, please don't do this. So people are following to an extent, but I do know a lot of people still going out to nightclubs and not following social distancing, still shaking hands, not washing their hands. But
Wow.
yeah, but that's just my opinion. So I know that many Swedes that might watch this will definitely not think the same way as me.
Okay, so
Okay.
now let's hear from UK. What are their policies? Which is Yelia, who joined us via pre-recording. What time is it, by the way, in your countries right now?
And so initially it went into social distancing, so just encouraging everyone to stay at home. And then about 8 weeks ago, we went into full lockdown, which means you got to stay at home. Who you live with is who you can see. You can go outside for 1 hour a day for exercise or for essential shopping, so like supermarkets or hospital or like the doctors. If it's essential, so if it's like non-essential, if it's regular, they've stopped all non-essential surgeries. Yeah, so people were still in the parks a lot on the weekends, so they started shutting some parks as well. But they were just trying to balance that management of shutting parks, and also appreciating that that's actually, for some people, the only green space there is. So just crowd controlling that. So a lot of police patrolling around the parks, distributing people who have been like hanging out or creating picnics and things like that.
Okay, how about Germany?
I will give my best. I don't know it in depth, I think, but at the moment, we actually had some easing of the restrictions. In the beginning of March, there was a government recommended quarantine, meaning that everyone for whom it's possible should work from home and stay at home as much as possible, though it was still allowed to go outside in order to take a walk, do sports, and of course to do shopping or go to work for those who had to change location to go to work. All shops except for supermarkets and some others were closed. And actually, as of this week, parks are opening again and more shops have opened. Restaurants will slowly open starting next week with strict regulations.
That's nice. Okay, previously there was a question from like someone who were asking, I think other than Benjamin, for Thomas and Valentine, what time is it right now over there at your place?
It's 8:30 in the morning, so it's not too early.
8:30 in the morning?
On the
Yeah,
Sunday?
on the Sunday, yeah, on the Sunday. We're like behind you guys.
How about Thomas?
It's about 11:30 p.m., so it's about to be midnight. So
Oh,
On a Saturday.
yeah. I think I'm more off with Thomas. Awake at 11:30 p.m. Yeah, 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday. No, thanks.
Okay, we have one question coming in from Shine Lee. I'm very curious about the supermarket situation in other countries. Do you have any interesting anecdotes to share? Any
It's probably the common one was a toilet paper. So everyone thought that toilet paper can fight off coronavirus, so they bought a lot. But apart from that, they've actually installed these plastic barriers in the cashiers, so you can't no air touches the cashier from yourself. So that's good for the workers. And they put stickers everywhere in the supermarket, so you used to keep your social distance from each other. But people don't really. Oh, I listen to them, but some people are always behind you and just want to say, just back off. But
How about Thomas?
well, the supermarket situation here, minus fights in lines waiting for the grocery store to open. Everyone was just either buying toilet paper, not because they knew it was gonna affect the coronavirus. They just saw everyone else buying it, so everyone started buying more. Then it will be bottled water, bleach, all anti-defect, plastic gloves, mask. Yeah, after that, stores became really packed, so you're more likely to get anything, when waiting in line at these stores. Also, they also in all the cash registers they add a huge, plate of polycarbonate, like some of these stores, so clear plastic, so it looks almost like for a bank. Yeah, it's just been like crazy over here.
Okay, how about Benjamin? We heard from Tika just now that there were gloves needed
Yeah.
at grocery stores. That is crazy.
Yeah. And the gloves are like those really loose fitting ones. You know, the ones that you get. Do you guys have Kyuchon? You know.
No.
Okay, it's like this small fried chicken thing. You know. Then they give you the. Never mind.
Oh, plastic bag to tapao to like pack.
yeah, kind
So
of.
there's
But
no shape at all. It's just
there is a shape, but it's like a
Okay.
very very loose
Ill-fitting
fitting
one.
glove.
Oh.
Oh,
So it's very
okay.
uncomfortable to use. Yeah.
The one where your
But-
sweat
but-
just like pools.
Yeah,
and,
it does
oh,
sweat a lot.
gross. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite glad that that is not happening in Singapore right now.
Okay, Thomas, it is very dark where you are. Do you want to like come forward? Come into the light, Thomas. Yes, there we go. Benjamin too, a bit dark on your end. Oh,
Wait,
you're limited by the
relax.
table.
Oh, okay, much
there we
better.
go. We see the light now. Okay, that brings us on to our next question, which is, what was all of your first reactions to the coronavirus? Because it mainly spread in China first. Did you think it would ever cross borders? And do
Be
you think
this
it would ever
huge
go into a worldwide pandemic?
Mm.
Let's start with Benjamin.
Okay. I didn't really expect it to become so big. Like, I heard of it like early January, I think before Chinese New Year, but then like it got really bad. So yeah, I did not expect it. I don't think anybody expected it. So yeah.
Yes, I remember we were spending Chinese New Year together. In fact, me and Benjamin, he's my cousin.
Yeah, we're
he
supposed
was
to go to
like,
Singapore.
yeah, he was like, Rachel, don't go back to Singapore. Like, because Singapore's cases were a lot higher than Malaysia. I was like, I wish, but I have work, so I gotta go back. Okay,
Too bad.
Valentine.
Sorry? Oh, me? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, what was your first reaction when you learned about the virus?
I'm quite a worried person in general, so I didn't think it'd be this bad, but I thought it would be bad, but I didn't expect over 4 million people infected and over 50,000 people dead. So it's a lot more serious than I thought it would be. I never thought that a whole country could shut down like it has. When Wuhan first shut, it was everyone saying, "Oh, it's like London being shut down," but then now we have countries much bigger than London shutting down as well. So that was quite scary, to be honest. I did not expect that.
How about Thomas?
Well, I did expect it to come here, but I didn't. I was expecting it to come sooner. Like it all started going down in January. I was expecting, more towards February, but it came in during March, right during spring break. So I was not surprised, and especially the way our country reacted, not surprised. Yeah, not
Okay.
surprised at all.
Nice.
Can we just give a very, very short disclaimer once again that everybody's views do not represent the Lifeguide show. And Thomas saying great words about America is not representative of China.
Yeah, just a disclaimer out there for you guys. Oh no!
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, shall we hear the views from Germany regarding the same question?
No, I totally underestimated it. I was concerned to hear about it, and also hearing about the drastic lockdown measures was surprising to me. I don't remember very well the SARS crisis that had impacted China before. I think it was covered maybe less here in the media, or also I was much younger, so I didn't pay as much attention to it. And this one was covered pretty well by the media, I think. But I never thought it would spread, which was probably completely naive from me, because of course we're a globalized society and we have very tight economic relations with China. China is one of the most important economic partners of Germany. So with business travel still going on, it was only a matter of time. But yeah, you know that in hindsight.
Okay. What about UK?
Yeah, I did think so. I think Europe was one that I always thought was going to be very fast spreading, just because of the nature of the area and the freedom of movement between people. And I had an Italian friend at work who explained to me why Italy grew so quickly. And once I understood that, I thought, okay, then the rest of Europe is likely to follow suit. He had said that Milan, the epicenter in Italy, was like the London of Italy. So like that's where everyone worked and studied and like came from the regions in that place. So once that happened and everyone had to like fear and it was locking down, everyone went back home. But by then, everyone from Milan had a possibility of having the coronavirus, so then brought it out to the regions, and suddenly you saw that spread across everywhere. Now, with that being the case, and pretty much everywhere really, where you see like a kind of like a medium-sized country with a big central hub where people travel to or like base themselves that isn't home, then that spread happens quicker. And just the nature of Europe, you have a lot of people working away from home in different countries. So the minute you're not sure if your rights are going to be safe, or you're not sure you want to be stuck in that place without your family or your particular comforts, everyone starts spreading back. And you just saw that a lot. So after my Italian friend explained it to me, I just had a feeling that, yeah, I wasn't surprised how quickly it spread in the UK or Europe. I'm surprised by the death rate though.
Interesting.
Yep.
Thomas and Benjamin, both of you are full-time students. So how has going to school changed since the pandemic?
Sucks.
Pandemic started.
It's terrible.
We
I
need
hate
to elaborate more.
online classes. It's like, because I'm studying graphic design and advertising, so it's a bit more hands-on, especially because in this sem we're doing like packaging design and stuff. So we've been like completely cut off from the resources we have at school, like the 3D printers and the laser cutters and the CNCs. So we have to like the whole course guide has to like shift to fit the MCO. Yeah, so but then I did learn a few things from the shift. So yeah, it's not easy, but I'm on my sem break now. I just finished my sem. It was super difficult. Yeah.
As a designer, I can vouch. Like hands-on are like a very big part of like the materials that we study. And I'm the type of person, when you ask me to watch a tutorial, I'll fall asleep like straight away. So
Yeah.
I got you, bro. How about Valentine?
Yeah. So I'm not studying. I'm at work. So work's just it's the same as me. same as normally. So the only thing different is probably washing your hands a bit more. But socially, I'm not going out at all. I only eat takeaways if I do go to a restaurant, and I try not to socialize at all. To be honest, just be at home or do outdoor activities.
How about Thomas?
Well, about that, so all my classes converted to online, so they're all just pretty much Zoom calls. Yeah, spending about 4 hours pretending to pay attention in the comfort of your own home. So best way to describe it is that it's so hard to pay attention and maintain focus when you're in the comfort of your own bed. So one of my classes like 3 hour is a 3 hour lecture. The reason for that is it used to be like a good hour and a half. Then it'll be lab hour. So just for one of my media classes. Now that that lab hour is gone, it's a 3 hour lecture. And especially with this professor, he likes to ramble on. So imagine listening to like a 60-something-year-old trying to make references to 2020 while still being stuck in 1980.
Oh, we all have that one lecturer or like teacher that is like that. That's just
For 3 hours. 3 hours. And if you don't attend the class, guess who's getting their points deducted because there's nothing to grade. They're only grading off attendance.
okay. Shall we take a look at Tika's drawing? Like there's still a live drawing going on, guys. So let's
Yes,
take a look.
for our 3 guests who just joined us, our first guest during segment 1, she's an illustrator. So she does like mind maps of conferences and summarizes all key points. So she's doing one for our live stream now as well. So every now and then we'll check in and see what's her progress. And at the end of the show, you get to see like a very nicely illustrated content summarization of this show.
Yes.
Okay.
Put it on.
So Thomas, you mentioned that she's taking a while to share her screen. So Thomas, you mentioned that you have 10-hour lectures.
Not 10 hours, just 4.
Why
Just, you know, just
10-hour lectures. Yes, here's the illustration. So these are all the things we've talked about so far. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Pretty good, eh?
Yeah, that's so nice. I still love the deer though. The deer is the
Yes.
highlight.
Yes, our Canadian guest in segment 1 mentioned that she saw a deer right outside of her house.
Like her window. Yeah, her window. Like she opened her window and the deer was staring right back at her. Yeah, so I think we can move on to the next question also for you guys. Have you guys seen any like wildlife coming back to like your country or your area during this period of time?
No, it's not normally in the streets there are reindeer, or not reindeer, deer, but that's things aren't shut down in Sweden, so there's still the same amount of cars on the road, and so that's just normal animals that are there normally.
Normal animals. They are there normally. Okay. How about Benjamin?
I've seen a bunch of squirrels because I live in a condo. So when I go down to start my car, I see a bunch of squirrels running around. They don't usually appear like ever. Also, there are like baby cats everywhere. So I guess you could say there's more wildlife. Yeah.
How about Thomas?
Oh, USA should be interesting.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So we got killer wasp now from Asia.
Oh.
I don't know who brought that. We got giant. My bad. They're not wasps. They're hornets. So they're angry bees. I live in like not wildlife territory. Mine is like a possum or a raccoon, and maybe a stray cat. But I haven't seen more wildlife. I seen a bird, but they're property of the government. So yeah, wildlife, not so much. I know other parts of California where like bears and deer are like actually coming back, but here in my part of California, no.
Do you want to see them though? Do you want to see them though?
I'd rather not see a killer hornet. I'd rather see a deer or maybe a coyote.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The killer wasps are on the east coast.
Bear? Would you rather be killed by a bear or a hornet?
What?
If COVID doesn't take you out, one of those will.
The bear will make it quick and simple.
Okay, so let's hear from our friend in Germany whether she has had any wildlife experiences.
We don't have that much exciting wildlife here. But yesterday I went to the park again, which was opened. It's a huge park here in the city of Mannheim, where I live. And they have a lot of birds there, and I mean from overseas, but also local. And you had the feeling that they were kind of irritated that there were people again on the footpaths, because probably they had taken over the whole park while us human beings weren't there.
And of course, the best for the last, UK and their famous sheep. Let's hear from Yulia.
Anybody else saw the video of the sheep? Like someone stated, like they posted it on Twitter, that it was like Shaun the sheep in real life.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you should go and see it. It was like the
Yeah.
entire street, and the sheep are just like moving all together. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was a pretty good sight. Okay, there's a question from Zhiwen. Are there any rogue people among your social circle who refuse to stay home or follow the rules? Thomas, I hear your laughter. You want to go first?
Well, I'm not having parties now. At least I know my friends are being responsible. So, mask, good old N95. Mask. I mean, we're not stupid about it. I mean, I'm with the Americans that don't follow it completely, but not I'm not committed to not following the rules.
Mm.
Yeah, my friends come over. I know they're safe.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Before they
Yeah, we
step in the
follow-
house, you better spray them with like disinfectant.
Lysol,
Oh
Yes.
no, oh no.
aerosol. Prepare not to breathe.
Okay, so I have a very directed question to Valentine in Sweden. So you mentioned that in Sweden is like business as usual, and you yourself mentioned that you don't necessarily agree with most of the sweets there. So can you elaborate more on that?
I think it's too relaxed. So if you compare Sweden to the Nordic countries, Norway, Finland, and Denmark, those other three countries, as soon as they had a large amount of cases or a death, they had mandatory lockdowns, and their death rate is a lot lower than Sweden. So if you put all those three countries together, they have a lot less death than the whole of Sweden. But Sweden does have double the population of Norway. But if you put all the three countries together, there's a lot more population in those three countries than Sweden, and the death rate in Sweden is 10 times the amount. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's a tenfold compared to those Nordic countries. So I believe that they should have just done lockdowns to slow down the spread, and then figure out after what to do. Because I think, I personally think 3,000 deaths is avoidable. Like, you can just look at the other countries, but then they think about the economy more. But I would rather think about the lives than the economy, to be honest.
Yes, totally.
Agreed.
I've heard a lot of debate around that situation, and really the only strong point of keeping measures very relaxed is just that the economy is not suffering as much as the other countries, but at the same time, the death rate, is it worth it? But that's not for me to answer. Yeah.
To be honest, the economy is already slowing down in Sweden. I feel it personally from work, because work is slowing down. So we have a lot less work than we did 3 weeks ago. So we've started to lay people off, not lay people off, but reduce their hours. But they still get full pay from the government, but they get reduced hours. So only working 20%. So 2 times every 2 weeks. So the economic hardship is coming, and I don't think it was avoidable by keeping open.
That being said, were the medical facilities in your country able to cope with the demand?
Right now, it sounds like they're strained. From what I understand, it's quite hard for me because I do speak Swedish, but it's hard for me to follow the news because it's quite technical words. But what I do understand is they have enough beds right now, but it's the people they need to man the bed, so they don't have enough doctors, nurses, and hospital workers. That's from what I understand. So they have enough beds, but they just don't have the personnel to work them. So there's a hospital nearby, and they're hiring anyone, and they just give them a 3-day course, and then they become a minder to a person in an intensive ward.
That's tough.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
shall we move on to like a more light-hearted question? It's been pretty dark.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, it's all right. So, have you picked up any new skills or hobbies during this period of time?
Me first, or
Mm.
yeah. So it's actually quite random. I didn't do it because of the lockdown. It just happened to be. I started magnet fishing. I was on YouTube and I saw some guys that buy like a big magnet on a rope and they throw it in the water and they try to find treasure in the water. It's quite random, but that's what I've started doing in the last few weeks.
How about Thomas?
Well, I haven't picked up any new hobbies, but I've gotten better at not procrastinating.
Oh,
Stuck at home.
really?
Yeah. Worked on a screenwrite for the last couple of weeks, and I actually been on pace to not procrastinate. Other than that, I mean, I got Modern Warfare, but no new hobbies, just
Oh.
extended old ones.
Oh, okay. Benjamin is back. Where did you
Yay.
go?
Sorry, I disconnected.
It's
My
all
mom's
right.
watching Korean dramas outside. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, just repeating the question for Benjamin. Have you had any new like skills or hobbies that you developed during this time?
Yeah, a bunch actually. I've been exercising every other day. So previously I hit this like sort of plateau where I couldn't I felt like I couldn't improve. But then like I think it's just because I was too lazy. But then MCO forced me to really like push myself. So I learned a few more. It's calisthenics, so it's like using your body to work out like your body weight. So yeah, I learned a few other moves, and also I've been learning 3D modeling and rendering. So I use that to replace my for my packaging design. So I can like just render it in and take pictures digitally, and then also there's coding. Yeah, I've been learning C++ because I kind of yeah.
Wow, 3D rendering. I haven't heard that in a while. Ever since I graduated. 3D is just thrown one side. Okay, shall we hear from our friends from Germany?
Natalie.
I always loved cooking, and I'm doing that more now, of course. So maybe I perfected my skills. But yeah, actually, my boyfriend and I have been doing more baking as well. And yeah, I never baked much before, bread or cakes. And I learned that now, and I have more confidence in my baking skills. And I guess I also improved on some yoga postures.
Okay, how about UK?
From UK.
Yeah.
I think she loves cooking.
I have not picked up so many new skills as opposed to refined some existing skills. So I'm really into crocheting. So I've been crocheting a lot. I like to make like hats and scarves for like the rough sleepers and like the homeless. So I've just been buying bulk wool and producing. And then I love cooking. And funnily enough, in New Zealand, I always had time because it's a very slower lifestyle. And moving to London, I was eating out a lot with friends because it's the easiest way to catch up if you have like living in like different parts of London. So I found myself cooking less, and then during isolation, it's been a reignition of like love for cooking. And I'll be on a call with a client, and I'll just be like, getting into some dough and just releasing any frustration. When like I'm on a work call, I just be like, yeah, cool, yeah, we can do that. Need the dough. So, yeah, I've been really good at baking bread. Load of bread. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Before we move on to the next question, let's check in once again with Tika's live drawing. Whoa. I love the name. It's like TakTik. Like, is it inspired by TikTok? TakTik.
I love the deer. Oh my god, there are squirrels now.
Is that a swan?
Or is that a duck? Maybe it's just a duck.
Oh, our admin says that's a rabbit.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no offense to you and your drawing. It's just us. It's us.
Yeah. I wear glasses, so yeah.
Okay, and second last question. Any books or good movies to recommend for people stuck at home now? Let's go with Thomas first.
I haven't been watching. I mean, minus Tiger King. I haven't watched any movies or TV shows. I'm not really been like active on like Netflix or anything. I have been listening to more music though. That's what I may recommend. I've been listening to a lot more house and older like R&B stuff. So
Any songs to recommend, like specific titles?
I would have to look at my Spotify right. Hold up.
How about you just drop your Spotify playlist?
There's several, so
Oh, okay.
Benjamin, don't let us down. Hit us up with some good movies.
I've been watching a lot of sitcoms.
Friends?
I've
Bang
already
Theory?
finished Friends a long time ago. Yeah, I watched Big Bang Theory and also what's the Community.
Oh, same.
So yeah, I was watching, and then after that it started to get really bad because I couldn't tell the difference between my life and a sitcom. So I stopped watching sitcoms, and then after that I started watching a lot of anime. You know, Demon Slayer, Mob Psycho. I started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Yeah, and then but then I'm starting to play games now. You know, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is fun. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it.
So Thomas, do you have the song for us now?
Oh.
Any title?
Are you gonna make him sing it live?
Oh.
I wasn't going to, but since you suggested it, let's hear it.
No, we don't want this video to be taken down by copyright.
Okay, never
Oh
mind.
yeah, I'll think of On Point.
You pay us 1 second of the song.
I'll put a cover, so we won't get caught for anything.
Okay.
I have the Spinners. I'll Be Around. I'm just looking at all the stuff I recently added. Call Me Up by Home Shake. Bobby Caldwell, My Fun. That's the one right there. That's the one I recommend at the moment.
All right.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Okay, how about Valentine? Any books or movies?
Yeah, I've got some series I would like to recommend. So Money Heist is, if you haven't watched it, you have to watch it. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. It's in Spanish, but with subtitles, it's good. And I'm not sure if you guys have Amazon Prime Video.
No, maybe Thomas
No.
does.
Okay, maybe you can torrent it, but it's
All views expressed by our guests are not
Yeah, they are not from Lifeguide, guys.
It's called The Boys. It's about like a superhero one, but there's a group of superheroes who are celebrities, but they aren't good people. So there's someone trying to expose them. They look good on the outside, but on the inside they're not. They're murderers and stuff. So it's really good. So The Boys and Money Heist.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Thomas brought up Animal Crossing. Benjamin. So our colleague would like to know how much does a Switch console cost in ringgit?
I don't know. I
You
borrowed
don't
my
know?
friend's console.
Oh,
I
So
have
what do you
no
play
idea.
Animal Crossing on?
Nintendo Switch.
What?
So I play on. Hello, am I lagging?
oh,
No, I borrowed my friend's console like before the MCO started. So now I just have it. Yeah. And then I ordered a cartridge. So
Wow.
I'm just playing Animal.
yeah, it's super expensive in Singapore. It's about like 600 to 700 SGD. I actually have one at
Yeah.
home, but surprisingly, since Circuit Breaker started, I haven't touched my Nintendo Switch at all. At all. I don't know why I got it, honestly.
Alright. What's the title again, Valentine, of the evil Avengers?
It's called
It's
The
called The
Boys.
Boys.
The
The
Boys.
Boys. Ah, okay.
Why not? The girls. Okay, just kidding.
Good question. Good question.
Okay, and before we end off, we have to ask this question, even though it's a bit heavy. But Thomas, can you give us a little insight about the protests happening in America? What is going on?
Well, there's totally nothing going on.
Oh, everything's
Everything's
rainbow.
fine.
Sunshine.
We're doing great. Our protest brings in morality questions. So either we keep the economy at a kind of good state, or we save like a couple more like 1,000 people. I feel like showing up. Oh, okay, so recently in like my little tiny city, we had protests claiming, okay, this is gonna be very, very vague. We want to reopen California, right? So for about 5 minutes, they're like, reopen California. Then it turned into a Trump rally for the next couple of minutes. After that, they started saying like xenophobic or racist stuff for the rest of it. It quickly turned from let's get over this, America is strong, to hey, there's a Mexican over there. Hey, look, there's a Chinese person over there. F you. Yeah. This was pretty much blocking up the entry to like one of the bigger shopping centers. So
Have you been affected since you are an Asian American?
about that, so I was at a restaurant. I mean, this is like about to be a full-on lockdown. So I was at a restaurant just waiting at a table. I even had a mask. I had everything. So there's one like old couple. Not gonna say any colors, but a white couple. So they're sitting a table away from me. I'm just waiting for my pizza. Lo and behold, as soon as I sat down, they got up, looked at me and my brother, with the dog eyes, that death stare. I walked across the restaurant and sat back down. And it's not even because they're finished with their food. The guy barely started eating. And it's not even because, they want to like social distance. There was another couple sitting a table away from about the same space as us. So they only moved because we were Asian outwards.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's very unfortunate. I think we have a
Yeah.
similar story from either in UK where, if I'm not wrong, it was a Singaporean student who was assaulted. Yeah, he was beat up, and that made headlines here back in Singapore. I'm not sure if they have the video ready.
They have the video.
Maybe they don't. Yeah. But anyway, it's 3:00 now, and we want to thank you guys so much for taking your time on a Sunday to join us and to talk about this situation. We hope our viewers have learned something. And before we end the live stream, let's do one quick check-in to Tika's drawing. I think she should be completed by now. And we would like to remind our viewers also, if you want to see the full resolution drawing and see a time lapse of the whole drawing, you can go to our Facebook where we will upload it there. And that's the completed drawing.
Canada goes well.
Netflix. No, USA, no one want to follow the policy. Sweden,
think-
that policy. In Germany, policy is loosening up. Yeah. In UK, they get 1 hour a day to exercise. Yeah.
Ooh.
In
Nice.
Malaysia, things are strict, so you can get fined or jailed if you do not comply, which is the same here in Singapore.
Yep.
So, one last way to end off is, can we get everyone to share a few encouraging words with our viewers? Let's start with Thomas.
Encouraging. I'll try. I mean, we'll get over it. Like, we'll get over it, right? We had like how
Very
many
encouraging.
world wars? We had so many. We had like a meteor dropped on Earth, and you're telling me something like microscopic is gonna really wipe us out? I mean, we could do it. Just stay at your home. That's it.
Simple as that.
Okay. Benjamin.
Stay at home. If you go out, wear a mask. I don't know. Don't be stupid. We got this. Cool.
Cool. And Valentine.
Yeah, just follow the rules, and if we all follow the rules, this will be finished a lot faster. So listen to your government and just follow the rules so we can travel again.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear from Germany.
Remember that this is only temporary. I don't think there will be a day when things go back to normal at once. It will be a gradual process, and try to make the best out of the situation. I know for many it's very difficult, so don't be shy to ask for help. Your neighbors, your friends, reach out to people, and don't stay alone with your problems. Just talking about it can help.
Okay, how about from Yelia from UK?
Keep eating good. Keep laughing, keep eating good. Prank the people you're living with. That's always fun. Yeah, keep the energy light.
So let's just prank people living with us. Yeah, that'll be great.
It's such an English thing to say. Like, yeah, just do a few pranks, you'll get over it.
Yeah. Oh, the guys, yeah, we'll get over it. It's fine.
Okay. Once again, thank you everyone so much for joining us. Happy
Thank
Sunday
you.
to all of you. Happy Mother's Day also to any mothers who are watching now.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll get through this together. Woo!
Yay.
Bye.
Okay. Let's check in last time with Tika.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Tika.
Love
My
your drawing.
Yeah, your drawing is adorable. I love the animals.
I just sent it to Steven so you all can share it.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the drawing and for joining us today. Thank
Okay,
you.
for those who are interested in Tika's work, you can check out her website. We'll link everything to Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so that's our episode 2 of the Sunday Show.
That's all for today. So stay tuned, guys, for more content coming up. Bye.
Bye.